warning, not every product you see on your Instagram feed is worth buying. According to Hootsuite, 50% of people have visited a website to make a purchase after seeing a product or a service on Instagram. You've probably done it too, right? But what are you buying? Some doctors are especially worried about some beauty products because they could do serious damage. One of them is called the HA pen, hyaluronic acid. It is meant to work as a DIY lip filler. They go for as cheap as $50 online, supposedly right, easy to do at home. Well, Dr. Ashley Chandler from Charlotte Plastic Surgery says she would never consider using this, and she wants to warn you to stay away from it. It could cause permanent damage.
It's uncontrolled, right? Because we can't see how much filler is going in at the time. I can't judge how deep it is. When I put in a needle, I'm visualizing all the structures. I'm able to put it exactly where I want it. I'm able to pull back to make sure that I'm not in a vessel. This thing, you just line up and shoot it in, and it can cause damage. Just the force alone, even if you were injecting water with it, could cause damage.
What kind of damage are we talking about? Is it temporary? Could it be permanent?
It could be permanent. So if you were to disrupt the main blood vessel running in the lip, or a main blood vessel running at the base of the nose, if you were injecting a nasolabial fold, you could permanently damage the vessel that's supplying blood to your skin, and you could get something called skin necrosis, meaning a piece of the skin would die, and you'd have bad scarring.
Is it something you could even fix then? You can't, doesn't sound like.
I could not fix it back to how you were before it happened, right? We can treat wounds and we can baby things along. Sometimes we can move flaps and do skin grafts, but there would always be some sign that it had happened.
I'm thinking to myself, obviously you went to school a long time to know how to do this properly. Some things you shouldn't do yourself, and this seems like one of them.
Right. So actually the pen that people are using is not even legal in other countries, but somehow in the U.S. it is legal right now.
Keep that in mind, and it's not the only dangerous product out there. Dr. Chandler says another thing she's noticing is ads claiming to be credible lip fillers like Juvederm, but that's not what they actually are.
It's uncontrolled. So things are made to look like brand names. Like I've been able to find Juvederm on the internet. If you look closely at the boxes, it's not actually the real Juvederm. It's made to look that way. So what is in that syringe could be anything from petroleum jelly, water, silicone that you can buy at Home Depot. We don't know what's in there, and you would never want to inject something in your face that you didn't know what it was.
So how can you make the right decision? How can you vet a product you see online? Dr. Chandler says first, don't let the pro in.
You know, fillers are on the expensive end. They will last anywhere from 6 months to 2 years. It's an investment, and people are always trying to find that treatment for less. And, you know, there's some things that you shouldn't use a shortcut on or the cheaper option, right? When I get my hair cut, I go to someone that cuts hair. I'm not letting, you know, my 2-year-old do it. You need someone that's had lots of training when you're dealing with these kinds of areas.
Because obviously it's a tough time for many, and folks have had to cut back on certain things, and they're looking to save some money where they can. Is there a way to look for things? There's CVS, and there's name brands, right? And then there's more of a generic version of something. Does that work in this realm, or is it just completely different?
It doesn't work in this realm, unfortunately. There's not a generic. There are different brands, but truthfully, they're all around the same price. Sometimes if you have a product that's longer lasting, it does cost a little more front, but because of that, you know, you're paying for the longevity.
These ads, though, you know how they're written, right? They make it seem like, you know, everyone's having these great success stories. What would you just caution people to know about these when they're looking on these ads? What are some things that they should do for their own homework so they make sure they're not making a mistake like this?
So I would obviously never have anybody inject themselves. I would always have it done by a professional. And when you're getting it done, it's fully okay to ask, you know, what was your training? Are you trained in this? Do you have a certificate in this?
important information. Be careful, folks. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Be sure to tune in to WBTV News at 11.